In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys 4 Facebook ad mistakes to avoid at all costs. What's going on, guys? Yash here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is absolutely having a great week and a great day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate the support recently on all my latest videos. Before we do jump into the video, please do make sure to drop a huge like on this video and make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on that post notification bell. So like it says in front of you, avoid these 4 costly Facebook ads mistakes. So myself personally, my name is Yash. If you guys do not already know me, how's it going? I've been into the e-commerce, dropshipping, and digital marketing space for a little over 2.5 years now, right? And one of my main streams of sales is from Facebook ads, okay? That's how I really drive that traffic and that revenue to my e-commerce stores, okay? So when I started 2.5 years ago, these 4 mistakes are basically something that no one really told me to avoid. And I ended up committing all 4 mistakes and I ended up spending a ton of money, okay? So today, I want to basically share these 4 mistakes with you guys to make sure you guys do avoid this and really don't spend your money in this direction, okay? So last but not least, please do join my free Facebook group, Ecom Mastermind. So I'll be leaving a link to that in the description below. And also, feel free to check out all my other social media channels as well. They'll also be in the description below. So let's jump right into the first Facebook ads mistake to avoid when running ads for your e-commerce business. First and foremost, and this one gets me every time, using engaged shoppers, okay? Engaged shoppers is a behavioral interest on Facebook, like you can see right here. And when a lot of people are testing interest, when they're basically setting up and launching their product, they tend to always narrow down that specific interest by engaged shoppers. That's something you guys want to avoid at all costs, okay? Engaged shoppers is a behavioral interest. In general, I like to avoid behavioral interests, okay, such as engaged shoppers, income, and different traits and different characteristics, because they aren't just as accurate, okay? And most of them will have very high CPMs, which are basically how much it's costing you per 1,000 impressions, okay? It's just that so many dropshippers across the Facebook ads platform use it. I think it's just too overused and it's too overplayed, and ultimately it will drain your budget for that specific ad set, or even if you're using a collective CBO campaign, your ad sets will just not optimize properly. And I've personally never used engaged shoppers. I think the last time I did use it was probably almost 2 years ago. So, that's something my mentor actually told me not to use. Instead, what you do want to do is per ad set, once you have your interest or interests, you want to exclude dropshippers and exclude AliExpress, okay? That's the 2 audiences that you do want to exclude per interest. So again, guys, make sure you avoid this bad guy over here. He's not good to use. Next, so testing only one ad creative, okay? You do not want to rely solely on one ad creative. This may heavily hinder your product's potential. I see so many people setting everything up properly, but then they will only have one ad creative set up, okay? Whether that be a video or a single image or a carousel, okay? Instead, what you want to do is split test. You want to A/B test, maybe do a video and a thumbnail, maybe do a single still image, maybe do a carousel ad, okay? For example, if you have one campaign with 10 different interest ad sets, you'll have 20 to 30 ad sets, right? So, or you can have 20 to 30 ad sets, meaning one ad set will have 2 to 3 ads, okay? So that ad set will basically spend its budget to those 2 or 3 creatives, and it will basically allocate the budget accordingly, okay? So that's kind of how you want to test, because you don't want to assume that, hey, this video is really good. This video is going to perform the best out of everything. I don't want to test anything else. Same goes with thumbnails, right? Sometimes your thumbnail can really have a different effect on your impressions or your engagement or your initial video watch time or your click-through rate. So you always want to split test from the get-go, and then after a few days, you'll basically be able to see based on the link clicks, based on the engagement, and based on the CTRs, which creative is doing well and which is not. You cut back on the ones that aren't doing well, and you can maybe save them later for retargeting purposes as well. But never assume, like I said, it can hinder your product's potential to solely putting all of your eggs into that one creative. Okay, so again, always want to split test and always kind of want to see where your options are in terms of creatives for that single product that you guys are testing. Thirdly, starting with PPE campaigns. Okay, PPE basically means post per engagement. Okay, and this is a very common myth. People usually say in the space, start with PPE campaigns because you get more engagement on your ads, you get cheaper traffic. Yeah, it helps you further validate a product at a much quicker rate. These are all common myths, guys. I see a lot of people run like $5 or $10 PPE campaigns like worldwide, but in my opinion, they just really bring very cheap traffic and they really don't increase your momentum, or they kind of really don't help you gauge anything at all, especially because you're kind of spending your money towards a worldwide audience as well. So absolutely avoid this guy right here. Even though it may be cheaper when starting out and it looks like your ad is getting a lot of traction, it's really not. It's just something that's not needed. My belief or my notion is that if an ad is good, if a creative is good, if your ad copy is good, you're inevitably going to get good engagement, good comments, good shares, good likes, all that good stuff within that engagement group. Okay, so let the ad do its own thing by itself. I remember I started running a store about a month ago. My creative was so good. In like the third day, obviously it depends on how much money you're spending, but by the third day, I think I already have like 170 comments, which was insane. That's like the most engagement I've ever seen, and I was actually using a still image, so I mean it did really good. It really captivated people's attention. So anyway, guys, point is, not to go off topic here, PPE campaigns are absolutely really not necessary at all. Instead, you can start with the video views campaign or a conversion campaign. Not a traffic campaign. You always want to optimize the pixel for purchase if you go the video views route or the conversion campaign route as well, right? If you do a video views campaign, some of you guys may be curious, this is actually a new strategy. You always want to target those top tier countries. United States, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia are big five, and also like to target some top tier European e-packet countries such as Germany, Switzerland, Ireland, Italy, and Austria. Those kind of 10 to 12 countries are good. And then later, after 3 or 4 days, you can basically transition that data into a conversion campaign, obviously optimizing for purchase. So if you're just starting out, I recommend going one or two ways. And last but not least, guys, this is very important, and this is something I struggled with a lot when I was first starting out. A lot of people want to run ads, a lot of people want to go straight into marketing, which is fine if you have everything set up, but guys, be patient. E-commerce is really a game of patience, really a game of all numbers and collecting feedback and implementing it into action, right? Nothing will happen overnight. Advertising is a long-term game in general, and I see so many people just being impatient. I remember someone posted on my group like last year, like, hey, I ran my ads for 8 hours, I spent like $15 and I haven't gotten any sales. Is this a dead product? You can't be doing that, guys. So really, just making decisions within 24 hours is not really a good thing. It really depends on how much you're actually spending too. If you're just testing a product, and if you're spending anything under $100, I recommend waiting at least 3.5 days. If you're spending at least $100 or more, then 48 to 55 hours is usually a good period to kind of wait. So instead, you want to give it time, especially when it's in this learning phase. It's finding your potential audience, right? Facebook has to go ahead and find your potential audience, right? So you have to let these ad sets and these campaigns optimize as a whole, especially when you're cold interest targeting, right? And more than that, guys, when you're actually analyzing, you want to look for consistency, and you want to basically analyze your KPIs and metrics and data points collectively, such as your CPM, CPCs, CPPs, CTRs, your add to carts, initiate checkouts, and your purchase events as well. You want to basically view them in a collective manner. You never want to make a decision just based off one day. Like, hey, today the CPC is very high on this ad set. Let me kill it. Sometimes you will have inconsistent days. It's just very natural on any sort of paid marketing platform, let alone Facebook ads. So again, like I said very clearly right here, make decisions based on 2 to 3 days in terms of when to cut off, when to scale down, and when to scale up. I know these four are all very basic contexts or very basic topics at the ground level, but they are very, very important. And sometimes, you really overlook or neglect these things, and you end up wasting a lot of money where you don't really need to, guys. So again, I wanted to keep this video as very informational and very short and very knowledgeable as possible for you guys, especially all my individuals that are just starting in this e-commerce dropshipping world, especially utilizing Facebook ads. Facebook ads is great. Maybe I may be a little biased, but it is my bread and butter. But it's definitely possible to make a lot of money with it, guys. But you really have to make sure that you're avoiding these four mistakes at all costs. So with that being said, guys, if you have any comments, any thoughts, any concerns, please do drop them below. As always, I do really try to respond to as everybody as possible. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will check you guys out soon. Peace.